hey, it's Emily, and today I wanted to talk about the standout books of the year so far. So I have done the mid-year book freakout tag, which I will link below, which is one way of kind of wrapping up the first 6 months of reading for the year. But I also just wanted to talk about some more standouts from January to June. So that's what this time frame is going to cover. I'm going to try to keep this pretty short and snappy, but I just wanted to talk about some that have really stood out to me and go from there. So let's start. I'm just going to look at my reading journal. I'm going to start with January. So one of the standouts was the first book that I finished this year. That is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is a World War II historical fiction that follows two sisters who are in Nazi-occupied France. And one sister has a husband and a daughter, and the other decides to join some rebel forces that are trying to resist the Nazis. They have very different circumstances throughout the war and really struggle with that, but come to understand and appreciate where the other sister is coming from throughout the book. I thought it was beautiful. I was pretty emotional during parts of this. Really enjoyed this one. I thought the character work was really good, and I was just super intrigued the whole time. Another standout is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This one was just absolutely precious and gut-wrenching, so 2 gut-wrenching books in the month of January, but these were definitely standouts. The writing is so gorgeous. This is just the story of Achilles and Patroclus, and it was gorgeous. It was lovely, it was emotional, and so you follow some of the Greek gods as they go through some key events leading up to and throughout the Trojan War. I'm not super familiar with Greek mythology, but I was still able to follow along and really enjoy this story. The relationship between Patroclus and Achilles is just so precious. It's so precious, and this one just made me smile, it made me emotional, and I just really enjoyed going through their experiences and just getting to know their story. So going to go to February. The next standout for me is a chunker. Let me grab it. It is Prayer of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, and it's a beast, but I conquered the beast, and I absolutely love this one. This one follows, so it's a multi-perspective high fantasy that follows several different parts of this world. These different parts of the world have different relationships to dragons, they have different relationships to magic. They don't get along, but they might need to team up, or they do need to team up in order to fight the threat of the Nameless One. And so you follow characters who go, some are mostly positioned throughout various parts of the world, some kind of go between these different parts of the world. And I thought the characters were super well done in this one. The plot was really well done. I thought the world was super intriguing. I'm very excited that she's writing another book in this world, because the world was so cool. I loved the politics. Just really intriguing. It takes a while to get to know the different perspectives and really get to know what's going on. But once I was hooked, I was hooked, and I thought it was a really, really cool political fantasy centering dragons. So if that's what you're in the mood for, would highly recommend. I also read Winter Keep by Kristen Kishore. This is the 4th book in the Graceland Realm series. This one follows Levisa, who is in Winter Keep. Bitter Blue is also featured in this one. So Bitter Blue thinks that there is some funky stuff going on between the trade of a particular, is it a gem? And so she's trying to figure out what's going on. Levisa's trying to figure out what's going on. Her parents are both politically pretty powerful, but on opposite sides of what's going on. And so you follow Levisa and Bitter Blue trying to figure out what's going on. Just so much fun. It's classic Graceland Realm world book. The characters are amazing. It's not the most action-packed book ever, but the character work is super amazing. I did really enjoy the plot. The world is super interesting. There are magical foxes. I mean, it's a delight. I loved it. So we'll head on to March. This is the month that I read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and really freaking enjoyed it. I have a whole vlog about it that I can link below. I don't want to go on too much about that one, but that is the month that I read that, and I really love them. I also read Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall, and this one was an absolute freaking delight. And this follows, it's a male-male romance, adult romance that follows two people who, because circumstance, find it advantageous to fake date and fall for each other for reals, and they're super opposite characters, but I really like the way they communicate with each other, build that trust. They're both working through some issues, and they learn through trial and some error how to do that together, and it was just absolutely precious. So moving on to April, a couple that I have noted is one of my favorite books of the year so far, and that is A Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. This is the start of the Live Ship Traders series, which is in the realm of the Elderling world, and this one follows the pirates that are on the sea. It follows the live ship trader families in Bingtown and some other places. It follows their politics. It follows live ships, which are made of a special kind of wood, and if 3 generations of a family die on its decks, then it has some sentience and becomes a live ship. Like, there's a lot going on, and it's incredible. It's incredible. I loved it. I also love The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers. This is the 4th book in the Wayfarer series, and again, a classic Becky Chambers story. Not much happens, but I absolutely loved it. It's literally just about people who are stuck on a planet because circumstances, and it's about them just helping each other out and helping them get through that period of them being stuck there. Like, that's it. That's the book, and it's so great. Like, her character work is impeccable. It's just a super interesting world, and even if not much happens, I'm just so intrigued by the characters, the relationships between them, the relationships that they form, and it's fabulous. It's just a hug in a sci-fi book. May, I think the standout from May was definitely Date Me, Bryson Keller. This is a YA romance that centers around a couple high school kids, Kai and Bryson Keller, and Bryson has a dare going on at school where the first person on Monday morning to ask him out will be the person that he, kind of dates for the week, so to speak. And Kai is the first person to ask him one Monday morning because circumstances. And Bryson's like, sure, no rule said that it had to be a woman to ask me out. Like, all right, let's do this. And they are so cute. They're so precious. They really, really, really support each other in just such a beautiful and touching way. And there's a lot to do with coming out in this book. And it just, it really got to me. It made me smile the entire time. It made me laugh the entire time. It made me emotional. And I did not expect to love it as much as I did. So it was definitely a surprise to me, but I absolutely loved it. And we will go to June. There are a few in June that I want to note. One is Illuminate by Jay Kristoff and Amy Coffin. This was such a wild ride and such a pleasant surprise. I thought I would enjoy it, but I didn't realize how invested I would be. So it's a mixed media format. It's kind of hard to tell. I also was listening to the audiobook while following along physically, which would highly recommend. I think that's the way to go, at least for me personally, as someone who really loves audiobooks. I thought the production was super cool. This follows Katie and Ezra. They are on a planet. They have broken up, and they're about to go about their teenage life after breaking up when their planet is attacked, and it is attacked. There's an illegal mining operation that's taking place on this planet. A rival company has attacked this mining operation, and Katie and Ezra are just trying to get out. They end up on 2 different ships that are escaping, and they're trying to work together along with some other characters to figure out what's going on, what this attack was about. Is someone from that company chasing them so that they don't get a chance to escape and talk about what happened? And it's wild. It is a wild ride. And as I said, I didn't really expect to get as invested in the plot as I was. I didn't expect to connect with the characters in the way that I did. Despite the unorthodox format, I really enjoyed this ride. It got more and more intense as the book got on, and I couldn't put it down. Final book on this list that I would like to talk about is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and this one follows Ryland Grace, who is an astronaut who just wakes up doesn't know why he's in space. His 2 crewmates are dead, and he needs to figure out why he's in space. What was his mission? Was he supposed to, like, why is he there? What was he trying to do? And then figure out how to do what he intended on doing, or what his crew intended on doing. And I just absolutely adore Rylan as a character. I thought he was super fun. The science in here is super cool, but I don't think it bogs the story down at all, and I think will appeal to both people who do and don't like science in their science fiction. And I liked the present day of him figuring out what's going on, but he also flashes back to some memories as his memories are coming back to him. And I really enjoyed getting to know him in the past as well, and what was going on Earth, and some of the other characters on Earth that he was working with. And it was just amazing. It was funny. I feel like overall it's a pretty lighthearted book, even though it's a survival story, but it was just so much fun. It was so entertaining. There's an element in here that I can't really talk about that just was so heartwarming, and I love that added element that came in a little bit later into the book that's not in the blurb. Anyway, I love this book so much. So those are some standouts. I didn't actually count how many there were, but it was 2-ish a month, and you know, just some standouts from throughout the year that I wanted to chat a little bit more about. Let me know what some of your favorite books so far of the year are. Let me know what you think of any of the books that I mentioned. Of course, be sure to subscribe for more bookish content. I will be sure to link my Twitter and Instagram down below. That's where I like to hang out. I will also leave more information for how you can support the Black Lives Matter movement, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!